John Mosley told me I need to worry about the skull ring popping up. So we're doing. So that's my family. And then on Thursday, my mom and dad are actually coming down. First time that my mom's been here, so I'm looking forward to getting them down and letting them meet the community and see Corpus Christi and see why I'm calling this home. So, well, that's it. Any questions? We have time for questions, George? Is that...
What made you decide to call?
You know, I was kind of make a short version. I really was in prayer about what I need to do. I just felt like I had done so much in Louisville. When we merged police departments, anytime you merge, it's very difficult. We've been there for 7 years, working on that merger and making that happen. And I was quite frankly, I was just tired. I wanted to change, and I looked at the private sector, and I said a simple prayer. I said, Lord, open the doors and they be open, close the doors and they be closed. I'm really looking for guidance. And I had a couple of jobs that I just knew they were mine, private sector, and I tell you what, I got bloody noses on both of those for my door shut. It didn't work out. And I thank God for that, because it really made me focus and realize I had desire for policing. And even one of those guys told me when he finally got this job, he said, well, please move back to Louisville. And I just knew that wasn't where I needed to be for a lot of reasons. And then I was looking at jobs, and my wife said, I love South Carolina, North Carolina. We're within a day's drive of Louisville, and her father just passed away. And she said, I'll be close to mom and the family. And I said, okay. So I started looking at jobs, and I was competing for a job in North Carolina. It was a smaller job than this, but a very lucrative job, a very easy job compared to most police jobs, and longevity. And then I had been called by what we call headliners for a job in Georgia, the 950-man police department, where I didn't even have to apply. I would just be a finalist based on my credentials. But I kept seeing Corpus Christi, so I put in for it. And then I started going through the process, and I became one of the finalists and was going to come here. And, you know, I told my wife, I said, how about Corpus Christi? And she said, where is Corpus Christi? So she, and my wife was great. She was starting on my better half. She said, what are you going to do? Long story short, I'm in the Omni. I'm going to take my interview at City Hall. They told me to take a cab over and they'll give me a ride back. And so right before I got in there, I just got on my knees in the Omni and said, God, if this is meant to be, please let me know before I leave. Because what the search firm, or the search people here didn't know, next week I was going to North Carolina. And if they offered me a job, I would probably have to take it. So, but they weren't supposed to tell me anything for 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks after this interview. I go over to do my interview. I'm the last person. I'll leave. True story. I'll leave. Media's there. I do a couple interviews. They say it's appropriate. I look around. They've left me. I have nobody in there to take me back to the hotel, so I started walking. Now, I don't know if you ever walked between City Hall and the Omni, but it's quite an experience. So I walked back with my kid, you know, saying hello to everybody, best I could, in front of her, looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm talking to my wife, and I told her I thought it went well, and I get a phone call, says I'm 1 to 2 finalists. And I'm telling my wife that, and I'm saying, you know, I kind of put a fleece, and I'm just waiting, maybe, you know, God's up to something, I don't know. And by the time I got back and was changing, I just changed, was on the phone with Kara Steele. Angel Escobar called me. We had dinner that night and offered me a job. So that's how I ended up there. And I took longer than but you know what? To me, that's just a testimony to what God can do. Out of Louisville, Kentucky, a friend of mine used to come to Corpus for a beat partner. Used to come to Corpus for a vacation. He told me a lot years ago, and so I knew a little bit about Corpus before I actually came.
If you have a question, speak up, but speak loud if you could, so everybody can hear the question.
And I'll take a question from anyone but John. He'll embarrass me.
Joe, I want to ask you about, I'm trying to get some people, including myself, to participate in the Citizens Police Academy.
Yes.
What can you tell us the next starting date? And we've already got some that fill out applications.
If you
all have gotten a e-blast on the Citizens Police Academy. And so this is what the question is about, right, Mark?
Right. And we've already got some applications in, I think. And
okay. Well, I'll tell you what, here's the thing. We have one, we're still at one, aren't we, John? One Citizens Police Academy a year?
We're trying for 2 now. So we hope to have 2 next year. There is a waiting list, but I encourage you to keep at it because it's a wonderful program. And we really enjoyed it. It does great things for the department also.
I will say this, though. One of the things that I want to do, perfect opportunity. If you have people who want to do it and get a pretty good group, even if you invite people from the public as part and host it here, let us come here and then meet it off-site occasionally. That is something I've been wanting to do. So if you'll shoot me an email, maybe we can sit down and look at that.
I'll do it through George.
An opportunity. And the one good thing about the training staff, if you say, we'll let you host it and we'll feed you, then that always helps. Yes, sir.
It seems that there are two major problems with crime violence here in the area. That's the graffiti problems and the gangs that are here. I just heard recently that there are perhaps 40 different gangs in the area.
It's actually,
Excuse me, Troy, the question from Joel is, as I understand it, the two biggest crime, or at least I guess the public knowledge of crimes is graffiti and gangs.
and let me talk about graffiti first. Graffiti, when I got here, a lot of issues with it. Crime Control District had bought a graffiti removal truck, and we have two. That has been a tremendous benefit. As soon as graffiti goes up, we're trying to get down. If it's on a church, we do it instantly. But the city is good at trying to help property owners remove that. The other thing, they've been very aggressive, and I can't take any credit for any of this. That just good work on their part in graffiti. But they've been very aggressive in looking at prosecution, and the judge has been giving some stiff penalties to that. We have seen a decrease, a tremendous decrease in graffiti. However, I say that, just this week we are seeing an uptick, and we're not sure. And I've asked them to look at that a little bit more closely. Is it just an anomaly, or we have another group or a Titan crew that's getting together doing that? So we did have an uptick this week. You know, we'll go a month and not hit a major, then one night they'll hit a major place, and we've got an issue. But it's still an issue. It's not as bad as it was. It's getting better. We hope to make more improvement. The second truck, huge benefit, and the prosecution has been. You have to remember, a lot of people doing this, not just teenagers. One of the guys that got hit pretty hard was in his 40s. So it's, and then on the gang issue, about half our gangs are street gangs, about half gangs are prison gangs, which makes it a little bit different. You have to fight both of them differently. We have a 6-month and 1-year plan. I can tell you that when we began talking to the officers on the street, when they would go into the bars and do the bar checks, the gang members are there hanging out, you know, causing some issues. We can't find them in the bars right now. They're still active. We think they're going in communities around us, living there, partying, doing what they want. They're still committing crime here. We call this the largest city. We're having to regroup a little bit, but we've made some inroads. We have disrupted a couple major gangs. And the good news is, at one time, I don't think they really feared us as much as they could. And I think now they're very hesitant to do things too openly because we're there. And I've been out with the gang members. I've been out with gang members. Gang units. There's a rumor getting ready to start. But I've been out with the gang unit, and I can tell you, very talented young men on there, and they pull those gang members out. And what I like about it is they treat them with respect, but they're very, very tough with their questions, and they're very direct. So they're very professional, but these guys know don't mess with them because they know this stuff. And I'm very proud of them, and I'm looking forward to see what we can do in the future. It's a very difficult job. You put someone in prison, they come out a hardened gang member, prison gang member most of